Welcome to the WanderLearn show. I'm your host, Francis Tapon. I'm here with Richard DeLong. He's from the United States, but he's been all over the place in Eastern Europe. Right now, we're recording this in Tbilisi, Georgia, the country in the Caucasus Mountains, and we're going to talk about the differences between the different Eastern European countries that he's lived in, what attracts him to Eastern Europe, why should people go there, but we'll start off with the first question, which is, what are the differences between Ukrainians and Russians? Why are they even fighting? And my first question would be, I'm trying to help people from the Western world to understand, Richard. Maybe as an analogy, if you're an American, that Ukraine is to Russia like Canada is to the United States, or is that a ridiculous analogy? Is there any truth to that?
Yeah.
Is there any analogy there?
Can I propose a better analogy?
No.
Okay. Then it's a bad analogy.
Okay,
bad analogy. So here's a better analogy. Ukraine is to Russia as Quebec is to Canada.
C'est impossible, je ne crois pas.
Yeah. Je ne sais pas. So the reason for that is in Ukraine, almost everyone speaks Ukrainian. Most people speak Ukrainian. And most or almost everyone speaks or understands Russian. Whereas in Russia, very few people understand Ukrainian. So it's more similar to the situation between the Czech Republic and Slovakia, or let's say Canada versus Quebec, perhaps Catalonia and Spain, more like that.
Okay. Yeah,
we're talking different languages,
right? But
countries that have been tied historically for some period of time, but have different roots.
Do you think that Belarus and Russia are equally different as Ukraine and Russia? Or are they more similar to each other?
Okay, I'd say they're slightly more similar, but even that is kind of a stretch. So they're more similar because they've been more Russianized. The position of the Belarusian language is a lot worse than that of Ukrainian at this point.
Is it because Ukrainians have more nationalist, crazy people who are pushing their language and not letting Russians speak their language?
I think
that's what I've heard.
I think this goes back more to history and maybe the size of the countries, and also the length of time in which the Ukrainian or Belarusian-speaking parts of the country were part of the Russian Empire. So Western Ukraine only joined the Soviet Union later than the eastern parts. In Belarus, I don't know enough to say, but my impressions are very clear impressions that there is a movement to begin using again the Belarusian language. However, in politics, it seems that only Russian is used almost exclusively. That is definitely not the case in Ukraine, and it wasn't the case even in 1990 when the country separated from Russia.
Do you think that the relations are poisoned permanently between Ukraine and Russia, or do you think it's going to take the rest of this century to heal those two nations?
Yeah, a couple generations. Yep. Now that healing can take place faster, like let's say healing between Germany and Poland,
right?
Or it can take place slower over many generations, like let's say. Now you know more about this than I do, like the former Yugoslav republics.
Yeah,